What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here today, and wow, I have so much news to tell you. I have lots and lots of new details on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game, and quite a lot of screenshots. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I thought I'd get all the details and new features out of the way with first, because there's a lot to get through. But trust me, it's all new and really interesting stuff. So first off, the webbing is tied to the left and right triggers. So, for example, if you hold the left trigger down, you'll swing forward for a bit before gaining altitude and listing to the left. To move forward in a controlled and speedy pace, you will need to alternate between left and right web shots. So, according to Game Informer, it's more satisfying to get around since you are timing when you alternate between your webs and when you release them to gain and maintain the maximum momentum. Okay, so next up I'm going to talk about the demo that was shown at GDC. Now obviously we don't get to see that yet. Hopefully we'll get to see maybe something similar in the walkthrough trailer, but as of now all we have is this write-up. Okay, so it says here, in the demo shown at GDC, the section begins with Peter Parker as he enters a private fundraising event. Players get to control Peter Parker, which Beanox says is something that will be part of the overall experience. He's there to propel the plot along, but when it's time to fight or save people, he'll need to put on his costume. Parker runs into Harry Osborn and they begin to talk. Now this is interesting, so another character has just been announced, Harry Osborn. Just like in the movie, I'm pretty sure we'll fight him, but it's nice that they're going the friend route for starters instead of just running into him as a boss battle, so that's pretty cool. Maybe they'll do the same with Max Dillon, because they did say you're going to meet villains before they become even a villain, so that's cool. Yeah, so players can, for the first time ever, choose between several dialogue options. Now, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen that before, to be honest. I imagine it will be similar to things like Mass Effect and Skyrim, things like that, how you choose what you want to say. And maybe it also depends on how you're wanting to play the game. So if you're more of a hero, you'll say, you know, more heroic and nicer things. And if you're more of a menace, you'll say a bit more aggressive and not so nice things. Yeah, the conversation turns to Richard Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Like I was saying, you'll meet villains before they even become a villain. Osborn then goes on to say how he thinks Fisk is into illegal activities. But suddenly, a waiter walks by with a tray of drinks. Parker's spider sense kicks in and he knocks the tray over before Osborn can take what could have been a poison drink. Peter runs off and puts on the suit. He follows the waiter backstage and eventually runs into some Russian mobsters, which of course Spider-Man's cue to show off some of his new moves. Okay, so there are some bruises in the game who will need to be immobilized with a charge attack before they can be damaged. And Spidey can also do a variety of web and physical based moves. So for example, including one where he positions himself between two opponents, webs them both in the face, leaps in the air and pulls on line, causing them to bonk their heads together. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. I mean, it's a big step up from the first game. I mean, I loved all of the moves in the first game, but a lot of people just thought with this one they're going to just reuse all the moves, but it's nice to see that they're bringing some new ones to the table. Okay, so now onto the stealth. Players can choose their own paths as they remove each guard from their post one by one, which is not that different from the first game, you know, because you would just do that. However, it was quite linear in the first game, you know. It said you could go, you know, go here, stealthily take out these enemies, and then go to the next guys. But sometimes it kind of just made you feel like you had to go beat them up and not do it stealthily. So it's nice that this time round Beanox are trying to give the player more options in how they want to play the game. Okay, so we get back to the demo and the goons are guarding an experimental suit, which is apparently a perfect size for Spider-Man. Now that's interesting, a perfect size for Spider-Man. So is Spidey going to get some sort of special suit along the way? Maybe it'll be used to defeat Electro. It's like, it's combined with his electrified webs. Maybe it'll help him defeat him and also take out Goblin. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, but it gives us a lot of opportunities. It gives Beanox a lot of opportunities, in what they could do in the game. So yeah, that's pretty exciting if you ask me. Okay, so as well as bruises, another new thug type was introduced, and there's a female speedy enemy archetype. She's very quick and her blades will be really sharp, so you know, players who are used to getting through battles in the previous Spider-Man games by button mashing will have to learn how to dodge, roll, and use web pulls to win the battle. So, yeah, I mean, that's good because in the first Amazing Spider-Man games, sometimes the fights felt really easy, and you would just go in there, punch the enemy like 3 times, and he'd be defeated. And it was really annoying because you want a challenge, you know, and the perks in this game, I do hope, don't make the game too easy. I mean, yes, you know, with the black suit, make me feel stronger, like it says it will, but don't make me feel invincible, because it's just, there's no fun when you're invincible in games anymore. It used to be, but for some reason it's just not that fun anymore, because you just can't be defeated and there's no challenge in it. So yeah. Okay, this is my favourite part of the new information that was released, so here we go. Missions will pop up on the minimap as players progress through the campaign. They can be ignored, but at a cost. So for example, you may encounter a building engulfed in flames. Spider-Man can then play hero by using his spider sense to navigate through the smoke and save unconscious victims. Now we all know that's a good thing, isn't it? Obviously, that's a good thing that Spider-Man would do. His bravery will then be recognized through a special segment on the Daily Bugle channel, featuring anchor Whitney Chan, who is also making a return. So there we go, we've got 2 new characters, Norman Osborn and Whitney Chang. So, well, Whitney Chang's returning, but yeah. So that's a good thing to do, but here's the menace part of it. So if you ignore these poor people's cry for help, then let's say, for example, if you fail at a bomb disposal, as it says here, J. Jonah Jameson will take to the airwaves, wondering why Spidey didn't call the police instead of trying to figure out it himself. Spider-Man is seen as a hero by some and a threat to others. The new Hero or Menace system has been designed to keep the players on their toes. Whether you act as a hero or a menace, you will be treated differently. So for example, if you're seen as a hero, civilians will clap when they see you, but they will run away from a menace. And last but not least, Oscorp will send out drones to attack Spider-Man, and he'll even face penalties to damage and other stats. So yeah guys, that's a lot of information there, and a lot of awesome new information if you ask me, because, you know, we've been in the dark for quite a while now, and we've all been saying, oh Beanox, please release more information, and this is quite a lot if you ask me. I think Beanox have done well here, and honestly, people have been saying things like, oh, the game's going to be terrible because Beanox aren't releasing anything. Well, that's completely silly, because Beanox are the developer, you know? Just because they're not releasing any news doesn't mean a game is bad. If anything, I'm really impressed. I knew that I was going to buy this game anyway, and I was going to love it, but I am extremely impressed by what I've read, because this all sounds amazing, and I think it could be the best Spider-Man game yet, honestly. Spider-Man 2 was incredible for its time. The Amazing Spider-Man is one of my favourite Spider-Man games, but this looks like it's combining all the best parts of Spider-Man games in the past and turning it into one great Spider-Man game. So, yeah, let's get to the costumes now then. Okay, so Beanox has released 6 new screenshots for the game, and here's the first one. So we see a slightly damaged Spider-Man swing, I imagine, about to swing down, and there's not much really to say here apart from look at how big the city is. That is huge. I don't know if this is going to be the biggest New York in a Spider-Man game yet, but it certainly looks it. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see for the gameplay itself to see the actual scope of it, you know, from the actual player's point of view. But yeah, this screenshot's pretty cool. Okay, so the next shot we see Spidey running on a bus, which is, I imagine, due to Web Rush, because in the first game, you know, if you used Web Rush, you could run along buses and stuff, which was really, really cool. So it's nice to see it return, and look at how big the city looks. I mean, look at all the cars on the road, and there's not many pedestrians on screen I see, but that, you know, that could just be that side of the road. I mean, who knows if in front of Spider-Man there's more pedestrians that way. We just don't know, but I'm very impressed by this, and I'm pretty sure these new screenshots are the next gen version, because it looks absolutely amazing, and definitely more on par with the actual trailer that was released. Now here's a pretty cool screenshot of Spidey dodging an enemy wearing yellow and orange, or orangey brown, I guess we could say. He looks pretty much exactly the same as one of the older screenshots, which a lot of us kind of think is one of Shocker's thugs, because Beanox did do this thing where they said it was this battle on the movie page with Jackal versus Shocker, and they said, little hint, one of these characters will appear in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, and they didn't say who, but I think it's more likely to be Shocker. It could be Jackal, but I'm pretty sure it's Shocker. So yeah, we see Spidey dodging here. It looks pretty nice. I mean, little effect. You can also see tiny little effects like the gun blast, the smoke. There's a lot of little differences between these screenshots and the older screenshots, which I'm pretty sure are the current gen screenshots, and these ones are the next gen, because this definitely looks amazing. This shot's pretty nice and looks very similar to the first game's graphics, just a little better, I guess. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It looks amazing to me. Nice lighting. Spidey looks amazing. That costume is just... That's the best costume I've ever seen in a Spider-Man movie yet. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And I'd be happy if they used it through the whole franchise of, you know, Mark Webb's Spider-Man movies. So yeah, again, not really much to say here. I mean, we can see a construction work building at the top, right in the middle of the screen. And we can also see, if you look quite far back, you can see there's a crane. And there's also in the very first teaser trailer, and I think there might be in a few other screenshots and maybe in the other trailer, there are a lot of cranes. So I imagine that after watching The Amazing Spider-Man, Beanox must have thought, that was pretty cool ending. Why don't we use cranes in our game? So I'm pretty happy they're doing that, because that was a really cool scene. And just imagine it in gameplay. I mean, because that was just like a few seconds. You could do that whenever you want. Let's hope you can, because it would be pretty cool. Okay, so this screenshot is especially interesting because just look at how much brighter Spider-Man looks compared to the other shots. And, I mean, it's not that it looks bad, because I think the game looks fine, to be honest, on a current-gen system. It's just, if you look at the detail, it's not as detailed compared to the next-gen screenshots that I showed you before. But, yeah, you know, it still looks fine to me, and I think you'll all have a great time in this game anyway. I mean, graphics don't make a game. As long as you're having fun and you've got the best Spider-Man experience yet, why bother worrying about graphics, if you ask me? Okay, so I definitely saved the best for last. I mean, just look at this screenshot. It's amazing. I mean, the draw distance is pretty far for a Spider-Man game, where you can see a lot of detail in Spidey's suit while he's hanging on a gargoyle, which is nice. We can see the Daily Bugle, and we also see a great view of Oscorp, which looks way more like the actual first movie and obviously the second movie instead of the first game. But I think there was some problem with Beanox and Sony where they couldn't get the actual design into the game or something. But it's nice to see that we'll actually be able to explore that part there. And it would be pretty cool if they put a little Easter egg there, maybe like Captain Stacy's shotgun or something, you know, or maybe a part of the lizard. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah guys, that was a pretty long video. Sorry about that. There was a lot of new information, and let's hope we get some more, because I'm pretty hyped up right now. I mean, I was already excited for this game, definitely, but it looks way better than I ever expected. The little details, like being able to be a hero, and when you're a hero, you'll be on the Daily Bugle. That's amazing. And when you're a menace, JJ will publicly come out and say that you're a menace. That is impressive. I mean, wow. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.